Good day and greetings from Oulu.
Hi.
My name is Jutta Karhu and this is Jenni Kunnari. And we work here in Oulu University in the Research Center of Psychology and Educational Psychology. And now we introduce in this short video about our education system in Finland. I'd like to tell about main principles in our education. First, it has to be said that education is free in all levels. It means that from pre-primary level to university level, the education is free of charge. And children get also free transportation to school and free lunches. But adult students, if they have also free education, but they have to buy their own books and study materials and so on. And all schools are public schools, so that all the schools are as same or as good as the other schools also. We have only few private schools, maybe in bigger cities, but they also follow the national curriculum. So there is no hierarchy about which is the best school or which is the not so good school, but they all are good. We have principle that the potential of every individual should be maximized. And that is why education is well supported with guidance and school healthcare. And special education is provided in 3 levels, which are general support, intensified support, and special support. And it is evaluated depending on pupils' needs, what level is the support, what he or her or he or she is given in school. And there are no dead ends in our school system. It means that learners can always continue on an upper level of education, no matter what choices have made in between. We have no national standardized testing in our basic education. And teachers used to say that they don't like to teach for tests only, but they want to teach for life. And that is like main principle for teaching. And learning environments are quite well thought. They are stress-free and playful and safe learning environments. And for example, all the children and adolescents, they have a mandatory break. I think in every hour there is 10 minutes, 15 minutes break when they have to go outside. And outside in the schoolyards there are sports equipment, sports fields, and also playgrounds, so that pupils can play freely and have a good break before the next lesson. Finnish pupils do homework very little. There is almost no homework, and maybe sometimes there are just few exercises which take something like 10 to 20 minutes, but not more. And all the teachers are highly educated. That is because in these professions they have big responsibilities and the profession is very autonomous. It means that teachers plan quite freely and independently what and how they want to educate their class. And of course they have to follow the national curriculum, but they quite freely can choose that are they inside or outside, or what kind of methods they are using, or maybe are they doing cooperation with other teachers in the classes. And as teachers by ourselves also, it's very nice to say that teaching professions are very well respected, and quite many youngsters want to become teachers in the future. And I think of all the applicants, when students are applying for teacher education, only 10% of the applicants can get in. So that usually students are applying quite many times before they get to teacher education. Now I will introduce the steps of basic education. And in the first row you can see also the ages, what I'm meaning. Compulsory school attendance starts in the age of 6. So the school basically starts from pre-primary education. However, it has to be noticed that majority of children have also participated in early childhood education and care. Someone maybe from 11 months old, but some usually maybe 2 or 3 year olds participate to early childhood education. Pre-primary education, so 1 year at the age of 6 to 7. Pre-primary education aims to support children's readiness for school. Art, nature, alphabets, maybe a bit reading, and basic maths are taught and learned via playing and practicing social skills and group work. Then the first grade of basic education starts at the age of 7. And this year, just 2 weeks ago, 61,000 first graders started their basic education in Finland. And the grades from 1 to 6 are in elementary school. In elementary school, they work about 20 to 25 hours per week. And usually, one class, there is about 20 pupils, and they have one teacher who teaches all the subjects. So basically, or mainly just one teacher who teaches all the subjects, and the same teacher is usually for several years. And the grades 7 to 9, they are in upper comprehensive school, like yläkoulu in Finnish. And when students start their 7th grade, they'll start having more optional subjects, and they can choose extra courses or some optional, for example, extra languages like Spanish or Portuguese. And the teenagers work at school about 30 hours per week. And the difference between lower grades is that in upper comprehensive school, in 7th, 8th and 9th grade, they will have different teachers for every subject. So you can say that expert teachers for music, for maths, for every subject. So the basic education is in grade levels 1 to 9, and then the compulsory attendance in school ends. But some pupils want to take an extra year of basic education, so-called 10th grade. And maybe they want to raise their grades for 1 more year, but some pupils just take the extra year to think 1 year more that what would they like to do in the future.
Okay, and after basic education, it's time for the next level, second level education. 90% of adolescents continue to second level education, and we have 2 different study paths in this level. The first one is general upper secondary education, which usually takes 3 years to accomplish. General upper secondary school is a theoretically emphasized all-round education, which gives students readiness to studies in university or University of Applied Sciences, the third level. The studies in general upper secondary school is made up by general courses, which is meant to every student, and which after the students choose the subjects they would like to study based on their interest. In the end of the studies, the third year, students take part in the matriculation examination test. This is the only national test we have in Finland. Students choose 4 subjects to write, of which one is compulsory for everyone, and that's mother tongue. There are approximately 30,000 students who pass the matriculation examination every year. When general upper secondary school is more of a general one, what comes to knowledge and abilities, vocational qualification, which is the other study path, is more of a practical one, and it gives qualification to a certain profession or vocation. Students in vocational qualification might have different kind of backgrounds, and therefore they are studying different lines. They might have a basic education as their background, they might have general upper secondary school, or they might do these studies besides working life, so they have an occupational background. Professions they get are cook, hairdresser, truck driver, electrician, just to mention some examples. From vocational qualification education, there are 36,000 who pass the qualification every year. After these studies in second level education, students can apply to further studies, which is the university level. Here we also have two different kind of paths. Students who apply to university degree apply to a certain field, and some of these fields gives readiness to certain occupations. For example, teacher, lawyer, doctor, engineer, but also researchers and officials. Studies at a university level in university degrees emphasizes scientific research, and besides teaching, universities also conduct research. Studies at this level takes approximately 5 years, and after studies in a university degree, students might apply for PhD studies if they are interested in some research field. In year 2017, we had 15,000 who took the master's degree. The other path is University of Applied Sciences, who adopt a more practical approach to studies. So from studies in applied studies, students get a profession. For example, nurse, police officer, social worker, entrepreneur, just to mention some examples. These studies duration is something about 4 years, and in year 2017 there were 23,500 who took the University of Applied Sciences degree. So this is the education system in a nutshell, and before we end this presentation, we would like to take a look at this picture. Would you like Jukka to start?
Yes, there is educational structure of population from 87 to 2016, but maybe we can only look the last few years. And you can see that approximately 1.3 million people in Finland have only basic education, so they have went to school to 16-year-old, from 7 to 16-year-old,
Yes.
And then no more school after that. But also you can see that majority of people have went to upper secondary education, so they have the vocational qualification or the general education more. And you can see that there are less people who go through the higher education, but quite many still.
Yes. We can take a look at those two biggest lines from the top. There's the bachelor's level and the master's level, and this is the third level education. So there are less of those than if we compare to upper secondary education, for example. But these are the numbers regarding educational structure of population in Finland. Okay, so we are both teachers, but we also do research in the field of psychology. I do research about students in the field of education and their study path to university from general upper secondary school, what comes to their matriculation examination.
Yes, and myself, I am studying. I'm studying personality, and more strictly, I'm studying optimism and pessimism, how it develops and how it affects on one's life in adulthood. So personality psychology and developmental psychology. But here you can see our contact information. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have very pleasant and excellent seminar day there. Thank you.
Kiitos.